Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. We are just going to give it about 2 more minutes to get a larger audience and make sure everybody joins us from the beginning, and then we will get started. Thank you for joining us. This particular talk is on Dell EMC Cloud for Microsoft Azure Stack. We do have our chat screen open, so please do provide feedback, if you have questions, or also if you need to alert us to maybe not being able to hear us or anything of the sort. Also, while you're here and waiting, you could take a look at the attachment links where we have shared the webinar deck. We've also shared the solution brief and a white paper on the power of hybrid cloud, and also some website links that might be useful. Okay, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining us today for this webinar where we take a look at Dell EMC Cloud for Microsoft Azure Stack. In the next 45 minutes or so, I will be going over the case for cloud today and then looking at our Dell EMC solution offering for Microsoft Azure Stack. Now, we will be starting from the basics to make sure all of our viewers are on the same page and have the same assumptions, and then we will very quickly get down and dirty with the actual solution and what the offering is. We will hopefully have time for Q&A at the end, and we do have some subject matter experts on the call as well who will be helping answer any questions. If we are not able to answer the questions during the webinar, we will definitely make it a point to get back to you. So please do share your feedback. Let me kickstart this webinar with a poll question. So this is the first poll, really to get a sense of the audience. The question is, where is your organization in the cloud? I have presented 5 different options. Please feel free to add in the chat other thoughts that you might have. We'll give it about 30 seconds for people to get their response in. And let's get active. Let us know if you have any issues with the polling. We do have a large audience on this webinar, so we hope to see a lot of votes as well. Okay, and we're going to give it a few more seconds as more audience members are now getting a hang of the voting and are actually submitting their votes. Okay. And let's go ahead and stop voting so you guys will also see the results. There we go. So we have a good diversity of statuses for people in terms of where they are with implementing cloud. Some of them are thinking of cloud. Some already have cloud implementations that are only leveraging public cloud, and some are actually leveraging only private, while some have hybrid. So it's a good audience, and hopefully that means you all can also help me in this presentation to share your thoughts and feedback. I think that's one of the most useful things in such a webinar, the depth of experience we have here. Now, let's start right from the top. Cloud computing is a fact of life for all enterprises today, and not just for the IT organization. And it has been around a long time. Why is that important? There's already a lot of information available online, but that also means there's a lot of misinformation. It can get confusing when a large group has a conversation about cloud. So I want to use some opposites to really ensure we all have agreed upon assumptions for the rest of this webinar. Number one, people often talk about the cloud as a place, like somewhere to move things to. This leads to a certain way of thinking that is tangential to what the cloud potentially really is. Cloud is not a place. It's a platform like any other. That brings us to the second point. Depending on what you're reading, you'll hear a lot about public clouds versus private clouds. And in our poll, we saw that some of our responses do exist in only either or. It may feel as if enterprises must make a wholesale decision to go which way, but the cloud is not an island. It is not a place where you put all of your IT services and then lose all interconnectivity and access. In fact, that may be exactly what you don't want to do. And lastly, some vendors try to blur the line by suggesting that a whole-scale virtualization project of all things servers will give you the benefits of cloud. This also cannot be further from the truth. While virtualization is a key step towards the right direction, the real value is generated with the right orchestration tools, platforms as a service architecture, and IT as a service operating model. So these three assumptions are important because by looking holistically at the cloud, organizations can optimize its benefits for their budgets, privacy needs, operational SLAs, geographies, and overall business needs. And so gaining the biggest possible advantage from cloud really requires having the flexibility to deploy a workload where it makes the most sense. IT and business leaders alike then should really leverage multiple clouds in all their forms, whether it's public or private, hybrid, on-premise, managed, or hosted. Now, let's take a look at what's driving this drive. For the new digital customer, user experience really trumps all. With rising and continuously changing expectations for intelligent applications, always available with real-time updates and intelligent interactions, intelligent applications are the new face of business. By the way, in this slide, I talk about the customer. We, need to ensure what do we mean by the customer. This could be anybody. It could be a consumer. It could be a business partner. It could be a citizen within a country, a stakeholder in your organization, or a business function in the organization. So let's not forget who the possible customer is with this wide audience that we have in this webinar. Now, as digital becomes a bigger part of every business, intelligent applications, agile development, and flexible infrastructure capabilities will mean that hybrid cloud architectures will continue to dominate enterprise cloud strategies. Virtually all enterprise IT organizations will be expected to manage the delivery of consistent end-user SLAs and compliance with regulatory and corporate information management requirements and vendor risk management best practices as hybrid cloud architectures become more complex and dynamic. So the majority of enterprise IT teams will really need to evaluate how to best take advantage of these technologies across hybrid architectures. How fast is this all growing? Public IT cloud services spending is predicted to reach over $112 billion in 2019, next year. This is with a compound annual growth rate of 18.3%. What does that mean? It means it's about 6 times the rate of overall IT market growth. Where do you stand? Where does your organization stand in terms of this trajectory? Right? That's what we're asking our audience here. Now, I want to dive right in and look at the Dell EMC advantage, the Dell EMC solution specifically. Now, before I begin, Dell EMC has a long history of partnership with Microsoft, especially when it comes to cloud and advanced virtualization solutions, whether a customer wants to build a flexible, customizable solution with validated components, or buy turnkey cloud solutions using a strong hyper-converged infrastructure foundation. Dell EMC, as this slide also points out, is the only Microsoft Azure Stack partner to collaborate and engineer on CPS Premium Private Cloud for Microsoft Fast Track, Hybrid Cloud System for Microsoft CPS Standard, Ready Nodes and Bundles, and now, today, Azure Stack as well. Now, I have a question for you all before I dive into another poll. Did you know that today, Dell Technologies leads the industry in the sale of hyperconverged infrastructure? the foundation upon which Microsoft Azure Stack is built. Do you know how big the Dell Technologies market share is in the hyperconverged market? Here's a poll that I want to really get a sense of what the audience understands about Dell Technologies. So my question is, what is Dell Technologies' market share in hyperconverged infrastructure? We have a poll open, and we're waiting for people to submit their thoughts on where they think Dell Technologies' market share in hyperconverged infrastructure is. Very interesting. Let's get some more votes in. I'm going to give this one a little bit more time. The polls are changing dynamically as we speak. So let's get some more votes in. And if you can't vote, please do share in your questions from the audience. We don't have any feedback yet. If you're finding any difficulties with the presentation, please do let us know. All right, we're going to stop this voting. This is what the audience thinks. 60% is the predominant vote. There is a little bit of, actually just changed right now, 50 and 40 also. People do think that. Let me show you the actual results. It's 60%. The source is also there. Register.co.uk actually did analysis on the most recent IDC data. And number one is too small a number for us. We have 60% of the market share in hyperconverged. Now, why is that? We, for a long time, have led the way, and today we can say we pioneered the concept of a turnkey hybrid cloud platform with the introduction of enterprise hybrid cloud and native hybrid cloud. As Dell EMC, we've always said that the world is going to evolve towards a multi-cloud hybrid cloud strategy, and we're seeing that result today. Dell EMC Cloud from Microsoft Azure Stack is another great example of the world's most robust implementation of Azure Stack with application security, backup, services, and one contact support, all from a single vendor. Here's another poll question. Let's see if we can get more folks to answer this one. This is even more interesting. According to IDC Worldwide 2017 Q3 data, who is the cloud infrastructure leading vendor? This is about infrastructure specifically. Please do submit your votes. Somebody asked a question, in what market? Global, APAC, EMEA. This is global IDC data. Thank you. Somebody also asked the question, what percentage, oh wait, no, that's not the question. Somebody asked another question about what is CPS Premium private cloud. This is a Microsoft, this is CPS basically is the cloud platform system from Microsoft. Okay, we have a lot of votes. I'm going to stop the voting because the answer is kind of obvious. I would not be asking you this question if it wasn't Dell EMC. Here is the actual results. This is from the latest IDC quarterly cloud IT infrastructure tracker data. As you can see, we hold the #1 position, and also, most importantly, the green and red numbers showcase the growth year on year. So not only do we hold the #1 position, we also have the strongest year-on-year growth amongst the top vendors. So when you're partnering with Dell, then you know that you have one of the strongest partners out there. Now, bottom line, this solution combines Dell EMC's leadership in worldwide cloud infrastructure, as you just saw, with its long history of partnering with Microsoft, which includes shipping the industry's first Microsoft-based hybrid cloud in October 2015. IDC and other analysts give some key reasons for our success, such as being a leader in hyperconverged infrastructure is one very important reason. Our strong experience in enabling Microsoft application delivery is another. Our long-standing partnership with Microsoft and our rich ecosystem of services to enable and support Microsoft cloud deployments, as well as our extensive portfolio of Microsoft cloud and virtualization-ready solutions. So we have a long history working with Microsoft on these kinds of solutions. But what really sets Dell EMC apart in the industry is that we can offer the full continuum of converged solutions to help our customers simplify IT towards their cloud strategies, whether it is to build the entire infrastructure or to buy something that is ready to go. Our converged portfolio enables you to transform IT operations with engineered systems and hybrid cloud platforms. Let's dive into the solution. Now, Dell EMC has partnered with Microsoft to deliver Dell EMC Cloud for Microsoft Azure Stack based on a hybrid cloud platform for delivering infrastructure as a service and platform as a service with a consistent Azure experience, consistent on-premise and in public cloud. So on-premise with Stack and in the public cloud with Azure. Now, Dell EMC pioneered hybrid cloud platforms, which is a combination of hybrid converged infrastructure, Dell EMC software, innovation, and services for every step of the cloud journey, along with a single point of contact for support, really is what makes this solution unique. Our objective is to enable you to accelerate from hybrid cloud adoption to achieve your IT and digital transformation. Now, I'm going to dive in deeper later in the slides to talk about what that transition means. How can you accelerate towards hybrid cloud adoption and why that is important. But if this is your objective, then Dell EMC Cloud for Microsoft Azure Stack is your fastest and simplest path to Azure Stack. And with it, you can modernize your business with automated IT service delivery for all apps, innovate with cloud-native apps to digitally transform your business, and accelerate Microsoft Azure Stack adoption with confidence. Let's explore those 3 tenets that I just listed off that are also highlighted in the dark gray boxes at the bottom of the slide in more depth. Modernizing your business for all apps using an Azure consistent hybrid model means to deliver a consistent experience for Azure and Azure Stack. It means brokering self-service for your business users and stakeholders with control and confidence. And all this while protecting and securing application data. Finally, when customers look at hybrid cloud solutions to take advantage of flexible consumption models of technology, with Dell EMC, this is all enabled with one trusted hybrid cloud platform from Dell EMC. Let me talk briefly about the advantages of the Azure and Azure Stack solutions enabled with Dell EMC. With Azure over a hybrid cloud model, you have an automated, consistent experience across your cloud environment. This is because Azure Stack was built specifically for the cloud and the apps, services, and tools, and they are consistent on and off-premise. So I remember the poll that I originally posted where there were some audience members that said that they have only private and only public cloud, right? Azure Stack, one of the key benefits is that it is built specifically for cloud and brings that consistent experience, whether it's Stack or Azure, on-premise or off-premise. This means there is no need to learn new tools to support infrastructure as a service and platform as a service implementations differently when on or off-prem, or to administrate, automate, and orchestrate the lifecycle maintenance and operation tasks that are so cumbersome. Once you understand how to use the tools within Azure public cloud, for example, you already know how to use Azure Stack as well. So we learn it once, deploy and operate anywhere many times over. This is the real advantage of the one Azure ecosystem with identical tools for users, developers, and IT operation teams, all managed with a consistent experience. That's the key thing. With Dell EMC Cloud for Microsoft Azure Stack, you can bring the power of Azure into your data center behind your firewall. You can automate and simplify business users' and app developers' access to IT services with on-demand self-service, empowering them to deliver applications and services supported by the pooled resources necessary to accomplish their desired business outcomes and service level objectives, right? The key things that you want to be able to transform your IT data center with. Most importantly, the end-to-end solution is engineered, tested, delivered, serviced, and supported by a single vendor, that is Dell EMC. Now, Azure Stack on-prem empowers cloud administrators to maintain control and compliance on their terms, brokering and balancing enterprise infrastructure and IT services with confidence to both Azure in the public cloud and Azure Stack on-premise. On this slide, we see some examples of Azure services. With Azure Stack, we can bring the consistent experience of ease of deployment and management into both your on-prem and off-prem experience. Now, next, I'm going to dive into some specific features that are usually top of mind for IT that our Dell EMC Cloud from Microsoft Azure Stack solution uniquely addresses in a holistic solution. But I want to highlight as a summary to what modernize means. Modernize really means to be able to take advantage across the boundary of on-prem, off-prem, across the entire hybrid environment to be able to have a consistent experience. That is the modernization of IT that you can hopefully achieve with this solution. Now, security is key as your technology infrastructure gets more complex and as you automate deeper and deeper, which is one of the reasons why people look at cloud in the first place. CloudLink Secure VM delivers VM encryption anywhere in Azure. Encrypted VMs are completely portable and remain secured as they reside in and move between hosts, ensuring workloads remain secure wherever they're running. CloudLink policy-based management provides granular control of where and under what circumstances VMs are allowed to boot and access sensitive data. So if you're considering this solution and security is top of mind, take a note of CloudLink Secure VM and make sure to dive deeper into this in your conversations further with Dell EMC team members. An add-on option for Dell EMC, data protection, delivered via consulting services, allows IT to really be able to manage the backup services available to tenants and align service levels to cost objectives with the most efficient backup and recovery services tailor-made for virtual environments and the cloud. Tenants can access the data protection services they need for their applications. So this is another great example of a feature that you get with this solution. Third and last of the features in security that I want to talk about is Microsoft Infrastructure Backup Services embedded within Azure Stack. This really allows you to protect the Azure Stack infrastructure. With our solutions, it can also be backed up to Dell EMC Data Domain or a user-defined external file share. Dell EMC Data Protection for tenant VMs complement Microsoft Infrastructure Backup Services. Again, a great example of our long-term partnership. So that was modernized. Now let's take a look at how we innovate. In order to compete in today's economy, businesses of all types are becoming software companies and transforming how they engage with their customers. This means adopting DevOps model and delivering cloud-native apps to better engage with customers and create new customer experiences. Dell EMC Cloud for Microsoft Azure Stack can help you increase your innovation velocity. I'm going to talk about what that means. How does it do that? With an end-to-end cloud solution that is consistent on and off-prem, you can write applications once and deploy them anywhere in Azure and empower your developers to be totally focused on delivering applications to market faster. Now, I have another poll before I continue on the subject of innovation. When you think about projects in your organization, how long does it take for IT operations to provision infrastructure and middleware stack? So, traditional developers and IT operation teams, what do you face when you're looking at developing a software or a program and trying to launch it, and you need IT to provision infrastructure or middleware? So again, we've opened a poll. We want your responses so that the next few slides are relevant. When you think about projects in your organization, how long does it take for IT operations to provision infrastructure and middleware stack? Also, in the comments where you can, or maybe in the questions, share your thoughts. Share your thoughts on how long you think it should take. And let this run for a few more votes. Okay, and waiting to get a few more votes. Somebody asked the question, what percentage of the 60% for HCI stack is S2D? If you could please elaborate on that question, I'll go ahead and answer that. What do you mean? Okay, we'll collect a few more votes and then we'll stop the voting. Please get in your votes. All right, let's stop the voting. And let me know when the audience can see the results. Great, so the audience should see the results. And therein lies your problem. As you can see, too long and months is a consistent experience that we're still seeing in IT. When you think about the importance of digital in the agenda of businesses today, this is not something that is acceptable. Traditional developer and IT operation teams are faced with a massive amount of complexity needed to build, configure, maintain, and scale applications. Now, developers, on the other hand, can build an innovative application in weeks, but then oftentimes they spend months or too long waiting for IT operations to provision the infrastructure and middleware stack. Sometimes, in such cases, the projects even get stalled or even canceled. On the whole, these traditional processes are complex, manual, and because they're manual, they're error-prone, and slow down application development and deployment processes, and in some cases, even kill the project completely. Dell EMC Cloud for Microsoft Azure Stack helps developers increase innovation velocity by accelerating application delivery processes. It streamlines application development through self-service environments, and as a result, you can deploy new apps or run updates in radically less time than before. Days or weeks is what we usually experience versus months or years. The power of Azure allows developers to write their applications once and deploy anywhere in Azure or Azure Stack, on-prem or off-prem. Both Azure and Azure Stack have an identical application model, as I highlighted earlier, with the consistent APIs. And that really is one of the big advantages. You can go ahead and build infrastructure as a service and platform as a service, but as customers look more and more towards the variety of platforms of cloud available, having a consistency across the board as well as an infrastructure that is unified with a single vendor is a huge advantage to fixing this problem that we have where IT organizations take so long to provision infrastructure and middleware stack. Finally, speed. Dell EMC is here to help you adopt hybrid cloud business model with confidence. It's engineered for speed and simplicity with services for your entire cloud journey. We make sure that running and maintaining your Azure Stack hybrid cloud platform is easy with upgrade packages and single contact support to reduce your operational risk. Let's explore the value we deliver with our engineered hybrid cloud platform. This is a complex slide deck. I'm going to start with the Dell EMC hyperconverged infrastructure value add. What is the value add of this hyperconverged infrastructure layer? Our hyperconverged infrastructure is built with Dell EMC PowerEdge servers, the server of choice for businesses around the globe. This is actually right now in the industry worldwide #1 in revenue and units. We add Dell EMC networking and provide rack-level testing, validation, and integration delivered as a turnkey deployment in days. That means you get a solution that is already pre-engineered, already validated, and already tested to work for your bespoke requirements. Infrastructure lifecycle management and automated upgrades for the entire hyperconverged infrastructure stack reduce operational risks, and this is all wrapped with single contact support for the entire hyperconverged infrastructure. Now, on top of that, Microsoft's value add is delivered on top of the hyperconverged infrastructure through Azure Stack, which provides a user portal for cloud services, built-in Microsoft developer tools and frameworks with access to third-party developer tools as well. Azure Stack delivers infrastructure as a service and platform as a service, and elastic provisioning. The power of Azure really provides a consistent UI and common APIs for Azure and Azure Stack that I've already mentioned a few times now. Finally, Dell EMC has pioneered hybrid cloud platforms and has successfully been helping our customers accelerate hybrid cloud adoption for years. Applying the same principles to Dell EMC Cloud for Microsoft Azure Stack, we're adding our own intellectual property, initially through services and later fully integrated for encryption as a service and our industry-leading data protection technology to secure and protect application VMs. And I'll talk a little bit about this near the tail end of our presentation. We deliver a complete turnkey experience with a roadmap for enhancements along with deployment and consulting services for every step of your cloud journey. We give you basically one contact support through Dell EMC and a sustainable upgrade path with full component lifecycle management, which helps reduce your operational risk. So bottom line, our approach delivers better results for IT and digital transformation. We make the complex simple with the fully engineered, trusted hybrid cloud platform for Microsoft Azure Stack that is pre-validated, pre-tested, that you can basically buy and hit the ground running with. You can accelerate your business velocity and deliver hybrid cloud services faster with this solution. This lets your team focus on adding value to the business for delivering better products and services to your customer. The innovative hybrid cloud platform is integrated and fully tested to ensure that all the components work together. The solution then offers you a roadmap of new capabilities to ensure your platform continues to evolve to meet new business requirements. Remember what I said in the beginning, cloud is not a place, it is a platform. And that means the platforms continue to evolve and change, and you need a solution that allows you to have a clear roadmap of the new capabilities that you can expect and a methodology to actually implement these updates. These new capabilities are added, in our case, as part of the solution release cycles, testing the entire solution end-to-end already. So you can upgrade with ease from one version to the next with fully validated upgrade packages from Dell EMC. We help reduce your operational risk while accelerating your hybrid cloud adoption. Now, let's take a look at Dell EMC services and support, right? I think this is one of the most fundamental things. The infrastructure is there, the solution, the software is there, but really what makes it work is the ability to be able to help every one of our customers with their bespoke requirements in their journey to cloud. Now, our services for Microsoft Azure will help customers implement and integrate Azure Stack into their existing environments. I want to talk a little bit about these three circles: prepare, deploy, and extend. The first circle, prepare, is really about helping clarify your infrastructure, application, and operational priorities to implement and integrate the cloud for Microsoft Azure Stack into your environment. Then our support services programs also help you deploy and speed your path to productivity with deployment and integration services. Leveraging our experience and expertise with hybrid cloud platforms, we have engineered an optimal rack integration that ensures a consistent technology build, quality assurance, and comprehensive oversight from configuration to delivery. Once the rack is in place, Dell EMC technical engineers will rapidly configure and integrate your hybrid cloud environment, resulting in a fully operational platform that's ready to deliver services with Microsoft Azure Stack. Finally, then, extend. Many customers want to expand their hybrid cloud solution to deliver more value to their business. Dell EMC services offer optional custom services to optimize the hybrid cloud after the deployment. We can migrate applications onto the platforms. We can integrate on-premises Active Directory to federate with Azure Active Directory, providing a cloud-ready directory services platform. We can provide single sign-on and the ability to more easily consume and integrate with cloud applications such as Office 365. We can also build new services such as database as a service using Microsoft SQL Server, new application APIs, and new infrastructure as a service services, and integrate these into service catalogs. We can extend using monitoring and metering systems using Microsoft System Center and build resilient infrastructure using Dell EMC and Microsoft solutions. So there's a variety of ways that you can continue leveraging the capabilities of Dell EMC support services and consulting. When you purchase the hybrid cloud for Azure Stack, you also receive a single contact support with Pro Support Plus. This is the highest level of support available, giving IT teams the confidence that each component will be fully supported by industry-leading Dell EMC experts, a dedicated technical account manager, 24/7 access to elite hardware and software engineers, and collaborative third-party assistance. All of this, the bottom line, the objective is that all of this needs to help you meet the objective and end goal of accelerating your time to value of your hybrid cloud platform. Now, I'm really excited to be able to talk about an awesome new offering available in Meta, which is the ability to support flexible consumption models from Dell EMC. This offers Azure Cloud and Azure Stack customers a pay-as-you-go option for all Azure software services. Dell Financial Services offers a choice of infrastructure financing and payment options. What does this mean? A lot of customers might prefer an OpEx instead of a CapEx model for their cloud journey. So this is a great feature to take note of when you want to be able to engage further in your conversations about how to implement Dell EMC Cloud for Microsoft Azure Stack. Now, cloud is a journey, one that is always bespoke for every customer. I want to highlight that. Usually, every customer's journey is unique. The biggest value add of our consulting services team is that we have a unique advantage of tons of experience with different cloud objectives and journeys that customers have trusted to partner with us on and experience with a true end-to-end cloud solution. When it comes to consulting services, we know that one size doesn't fit all. Each step along your journey, Dell EMC Consulting Services can be there with experienced solutions, experiences in what works and what doesn't, to really make that step a successful one for you. From preparing to transition to the Azure Stack Cloud, to deploying the platform, to extending the capabilities of the platform. Now, I'm going to wrap up the presentation and then also talk a little bit about how you can kickstart your cloud journey. And I remember in the poll in the beginning, we talked about how some people have already implemented public cloud, some are already on private. So how can you really test this solution and if it's right for you? Dell EMC Cloud for Microsoft Azure Stack. Bottom line, in summary, our approach delivers our customers better results for IT and digital transformation by modernizing their cloud journey, by ensuring that they are able to take advantage and focus more on the innovation rather than trying to keep the business running, turning IT delivery instead of years and months into, or too long, to just weeks or days. Our hybrid cloud platforms help accelerate your business velocity, delivering hybrid cloud services faster than a build-your-own approach. This is also very important. As technology gets more and more complex, a lot of customers really are looking into ways that they could just buy the solutions rather than building them on the ground. And consequently, Dell EMC has invested thousands of engineering hours designing, integrating, and testing our hybrid cloud platforms to make sure all the components work together and are sustained as one unit. New capabilities that are added as part of our hybrid cloud platform release cycle are also already end-to-end tested, including simplifying the upgrades from one version to the next. And finally, with a single source for service and support, Dell EMC can help you reduce your operational risk and provide you the fastest path to modern IT and digital transformation. Okay, so we hope that many of you are interested, and if you are, how do we kickstart our cloud transformation? The Dell EMC Evaluator program that I put up on this slide provides customers a way to purchase a single-node Azure Stack hybrid cloud for the purposes of test and deployment. With this single-node Azure Stack hybrid cloud, you can explore Azure Stack Technical Preview 3 today on validated hardware. You could start your Azure Stack journey with trusted Dell EMC technical experts involved as well. You can also test and explore Azure Stack without a large capital outlay. And lastly, you could also continue the use of the Dell EMC Azure Stack single-node system that you invest in for development and test into the future by running generally available software. How can you order the single-node Azure Stack hybrid cloud that I've got up on the slide today? You can use this email that I have at the bottom in the gray box, mscloud_sales@dell.com. And finally, as a wrap-up, I do have another poll question that I want to be able to ask just to get a sense of the audience. Would you like to be contacted by a Dell EMC salesperson to kickstart your cloud journey? While we're getting the votes in, hold on, let me go back to the list. All right. I'm going to answer the other two questions. Thanks for the expansion. Somebody expanded on their question, and they asked, basically, out of the 60% market share in HCI for Dell EMC, what percentage of this is made up by MS Storage Spaces Direct? None. I added a source in my slides, and you will have that in the PDF. This particular data really just looked at the hardware vendors specifically. So Nutanix, VMware, vSAN, Dell XC, Dell EMC minus XC, the Cisco, HPE, and others specifically. Now, when IDC published its third 2017 quarter converged and hyperconverged infrastructure HCI numbers, Dell was in the lead. It anyway had a 30.6% revenue share, and Nutanix was second at $207 million. But IDC's public release didn't reveal how many XC systems Dell had shipped. So the source that I've shared with you, the analyst actually did research, and did two things. Number one, they bundled the numbers up for Dell Technologies as a vendor. And there, adding VMware vSAN revenues to Dell EMC. So it does not include Microsoft Spaces. It does not include that at all. This is VMware vSAN revenues added to Dell EMC, including the XC, which gives us the 60.2% share of the market. Excluding XC alone, because if you might want to think that that is Nutanix, gives us even still a 48% share of the market, still way out in front. So that's where that 60% is getting broken down to. Another comment from somebody, great pay-as-you-go options. Is it available in all 6 Azure Stack markets? This is a new offering that we've launched, and we have made it available across the Meta region. And if it's not available in your market, please do reach out to us. Oftentimes the most interesting thing about these kinds of services is that it's not available in the market that needs it most. And what we do with this kind of case is that we work with it on a case-by-case basis and try to work out how we can make it available. But thank you for asking, and great to see that you're excited about this. It does make a lot of sense sometimes when you look at cloud to look at an OpEx model instead of a CapEx model of investment. The question that we've asked is being asked for everybody, partner or customer, everybody. Let's get a sense of whether you want to be called on for further conversations about this solution. And we'll leave it there to ask this poll. We'll let it run live. We want to ask if you have any other questions. Somebody added a comment of thanks. Thank you very much for being here on this webinar. I'll still stay here. We've got time on our hands to let people ask any other questions that they might have. Okay, folks, just before we wrap up, I do want to highlight also that we take your feedback very seriously. So at the end of this presentation, you are going to get a request for feedback. Please do share your thoughts. I do hope that you enjoyed this webinar. Dell EMC has always had a very strong partnership with Microsoft, and we were the first to launch a hybrid cloud platform for them in 2015. And this is another great example of a great solution that is unique in the industry because of its nature of being completely end-to-end, right? From the hardware stack. When you think about the modernized IT building blocks, a lot of people, they get engulfed with just the cloud aspect. What people forget is that cloud is really in the middle of it all. We have to remember what the beginning of the objective and the drive is, which is that the customers use the applications. All of this is for basically that. But at the bottom of it all is hardware. So the real stack of a modern IT building block, in my perspective, is the hardware with the virtualization that sits on the top, then the ability to be able to build infrastructure as a service and platform as a service on top of that with orchestration. That is the key thing. And then finally on the top, you can put the app. That whole stack provided from a single vendor really allows you to be able to focus on the innovation and the speed, the velocity that you need to be able to provide to stay up to date with the team that is working on the applications and the software development that is most useful to the business. If we don't have any other questions, we might be able to close this webinar. Thank you very much. Somebody is asking a question. I think you mentioned that it is available for test, dev. What about for production? Yes, the solutions, so two things. Let me answer your question in two ways. Number one, yes, I have provided in the link, very important, thank you for asking this question. Number one, I have provided for you in this particular webinar a link to the solution brief where you can get a lot more details. That solution brief actually provides you all the different variety of solutions that we do have available for you. And also, please reach out to us, and we will definitely be more than happy to look at what kind of production solution fits best for your needs. Now, the second thing I want to be clear about is that I'll go back one slide. this particular node that I've shared with you for dev test can also be used for production as well. So I hope that has answered your question that you've raised. If it hasn't, please do clarify. Somebody has raised the comment that they would like to learn more in depth about this. This presentation was specifically about the solution. Thank you for your feedback. Do let us know, and what we want to be able to do is reach out to each customer who's interested to understand more in depth further in a one-to-one conversation. The solution brief that I have provided should be able to provide you a little bit more depth in this presentation. The answer to your question, can we get the solution without rack also? Yes. In the beginning of the slides, I did provide my email address. If you have any further questions, please do not hesitate to reach out to us for further questions. There was also the email for the actual MS Cloud at Dell.com. There's one more. Another question has been asked, can we arrange similar presentations for customers on site? Definitely. This presentation, this webinar was more of an introductory webinar because in the end, this webinar is going to stay permanent. You can come back to it anytime you want. You can definitely send this webinar, it is recorded, to your customers. So the person who's asked the question, can we arrange similar presentations for our team? Yes, please go ahead and come back to this webinar as many times as you want. But more importantly, we are definitely available to have a more one-to-one conversation anywhere that you need with any customer or any organization. So please reach out to us over email, and we'd be more than happy to come over and have a more in-depth conversation. Thank you very much. At this point, we're going to wrap up this webinar, and we look forward to your feedback. We thank you so much for coming and joining us, and we hope that this solution was interesting, and the key points that I kept nailing here made sense and hopefully have excited you to be able to take on your own cloud journeys. With that, we'll wrap up this presentation. Bye-bye.